going? Where's my mom?
Kamoana, your mother is still far away.
Then I need to wait for her at home. Let's go back to Haria.
Scary demons are running through the village. It's too dangerous there now.
But I want to see my mom.
Your mom would be sad if you got hurt by a demon. Come with us, and we'll keep you safe until she comes back.
Okay, I'll go with you. I wouldn't want Mom to be sad.
Grimoire, I want you to tell me more about what you said earlier.
About malevolence? I told you, the subject is taboo.
I understand that human emotions create a poison called malevolence that turns people into demons. Is there no way to stop malevolence from being created?
As long as humans remain human, no. Malevolence is born of emotion, you see.
But your kind must have found a way around it. Malakim experience emotions too.
But Malakim do not produce malevolence, unlike humans.
That's a lie. I've watched a Malak turn into a demon.
That only happens when we are exposed to too much external malevolence.
True. The island was full of prisoners and demons. And Melchior hit that Malak with something that turned it into a wyvern. Was it malevolence?
To Malakim, malevolence is a powerful toxin. We seek those of purity to serve as vessels to protect us from it. It is not a perfect solution, however.
If the vessel is corrupted, the Malak is as well.
That is correct.
So if Eleanor turns into a demon, then Laphicet... That must be what Eisen meant when he said he'd hate to see Laphicet's vessel broken.
A small crack in one's soul is often all it takes to break a person apart. So try not to pick on our squeaky clean exorcist too much,
Thanks for the warning.
The blood-winged butterflies operate in the Empire's shadows. Not even the Abbey knows their full scope beyond whispers and rumor. And you all have a connection to them, don't you?
Dark and interconnected is the underworld. We've heard voices in the shadows, glimpsed faces behind paper-thin masks.
The attack on High Priest Gideon. Was that at their behest?
Yeah, the Bloodwings asked us to take him out.
We did it in exchange for information that could lead us to Artorias.
Information? You would assassinate a man for mere information?
Yes. Information on the shepherd who rules the world. Not a bad deal if you ask me.
We just work with them when our interests align. Nothing more.
That's the kind of thin justification I'd expect to hear from them, too.
But the Bloodwings were acting upon knowledge that the High Priest was harming the people of the city.
You're right. The incident with the nectar was the church's failing. And it seems that the Bloodwing Butterfly Network goes further and deeper than we had thought.
They knew about the barrier at the throne, too.
And Velvet's expertise at dove mimicry.
Would you stop bringing that up?
Dove mimicry? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
There was a dove near the dock checkpoint. That's all.
Huh?
Right! It was a black, full-chested dove, wasn't it? Cuckoo!
A black, full-chested dove? Is that some sort of underworld code word?
Is Inominat's book so difficult? Grimoire seemed perplexed by it.
Yeah, she said it was written in ancient Avarost, a language that uses Impressionist script.
I've never heard of Impressionist script.
Each character can have many different meanings and readings, depending on the emotion it's expressing and the way it relates to the characters around it. Some modest records on its grammar and structure survive, but none that say how to read the emotion the characters express. Grimoire said that you have to recreate the writer's feelings as a sort of starting point in order to read it.
I see. And you have a talent for that sort of thing?
I guess I do.
But a script based on emotions? That's as far removed from modern language as can be.
Yeah, it's completely unrelated apparently.
How can it be completely unrelated?
After the temperance of Avarost, the entirety of human civilization vanished. The language went with it.
Much as a blooming flower loses its petals. The Avarost civilization grew too far and came to its final end. The surviving buildings and ancient tools the likes of which our technology cannot replicate. We're the beginning of that end.
In any case, it sounds like deciphering that writing will take quite a while.
Who was that caped man?
I do not know, but his hawk seemed extraordinarily well trained.
Trained to hunt, maybe?
I'd imagine. It takes a great deal of time and money to train a bird like that. What is it?
I smell something nice.
Indeed. The scent is somehow familiar. It can't be.
What are you two sniffing at?
Aha! They're bloodhounds on the hunt!
But we're talking about hawks hunting, aren't we?
Come again?
Oh, I'm sorry. Please excuse my poor manners. From the way you were talking, it seemed like you had an idea of who was behind the riot. What happened here?
I'd think someone in your position would know.
There were reports of a large riot, but I was caught up in chasing you, so I heard little else.
It was a small affair, really. Velvet, Rokuro, and I were being held on this island. Velvet instigated the other prisoners to riot so that we could escape.
She used the prisoners?
Yeah. You'd expect different from me?
How did it end?
We didn't stay to see, but the prisoners were losing badly. Or at least, that's what it looked like. But if that was the case, then where did all the exorcists go?
I know Oscar left to report the incident, but the other guards should have remained at their posts.
Well, if they didn't flee, we have to assume they were all killed.
By this headless night, perhaps? Well, no sense losing our heads, I suppose. But it looks like we're in for a heck of a fight.
All we have to do is mop up anyone who's left. What was it called? Venomization, right? The dark ritual of making demons feed on each other to birth stronger ones.
Eisen, how many demons does the ritual require?
It's more a matter of quality than quantity. Stronger demons mean more powerful malevolence.
The ritual mixes the victor's malevolence with that of the devoured, creating a terrible, bloodthirsty monster. You see, the newfound power comes at a great cost. With it, the victor's last vestiges of self-control are stripped away.
So it's something even more than a monster. A seething ball of pure power and malevolence.
Roguro, don't tell me you're considering it for yourself.
Of course I am. I'll consider anything that can make me stronger.
You cannot be serious!
What's there to be so surprised about? Well, look at Velvet. She's already eaten countless demons.
You're ridiculous!
He's right. If it helps me find my vengeance, I don't care.
Velvet?
Wait, are you really going to do it?
Relax, it's not gonna happen. Becoming a monster wouldn't bother me. But when I defeat my rival, I have to be myself for it to mean anything. It's the same for Velvet.
It is?
Besides, if I kill a previous victor of the ritual, I'll have proved myself strong enough not to need the extra power.
You're ridiculous.
So, Velvet is Etherian, is she? I knew there was something off about her.
But it's what she cried out that's really on my mind. Laphicet, is Velvet truly Lord Artorias' younger sister?
She never told me.
If it were true, I suppose it would explain her knowledge of Lord Artorias' training.
If you're so curious, why not ask her yourself? Hey Velvet, what's your connection to Artorias?
Rokuro, have some tact!
I heard you whispering. Doesn't bother me. Artorias was married to my late sister, Celica. He was our brother-in-law. We lived together for more than 10 years.
That does explain a few things.
So he sacrificed his little brother and turned his sister into a Therian.
But you were his family.
To his view of the grand scheme, family is inconsequential. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. All he did was act according to his ideal logic. Well, enough chit-chat. Let's get moving.
Laphicet, I must offer you an apology.
What for?
For spying. I was plotting to take you back to the Abbey. I am truly sorry.
It was your mission, wasn't it? Somehow I think I always knew.
You did?
Call it a hunch. Besides, Velvet was really suspicious of you. Whenever you feel you're doing something wrong, you start to sweat a lot. It seemed odd.
How long have you known?
Ever since you became a vessel for me. I think Velvet knew too.
That's quite a shock. I failed completely in my role as a spy. It's pathetic. Shameful, really.
Well, I think it says something good about you.
Huh?
Someone who can't lie well seems like a better person than someone who has an easy time of it.
Thank you, Laphicet. I think you're the better person here.
I wouldn't go that far.
What are you doing here, Bienfu?
I was hoping you'd let me join in!
We're in the middle of something important. Please leave us be for now.
I'll be quiet. Just let me hang around, all right?
Afraid not.
Bien! Madame Eleanor is a mealyhead!
She's a what?
Laphicet, thank you. I hope we can stay friends.
I hope so too, Eleanor.
Aizen, what happened to those octopuses?
Dial and Kurogane took them to the kitchen. They said they were going to make dinner for Kamoana.
They're going to feed demons to her?
A Theria needs malevolence to survive.
That's why they carried them off alive.
What do they plan on making?
Octopus ink pasta with takoyaki and fried octopus on the side, and Hellavisian octopus carpaccio.
Do they have a takoyaki pan here at the prison?
Kurogane hammered one out with some iron, along with a large pot for the pasta.
Still looking like that? Takoyaki would hit the spot right about now, though.
Octopus ink pasta, huh?
Like squids, octopuses release ink as a defensive mechanism, but theirs is made of different stuff and is used in other ways. Squid ink is stickier and acts like a decoy, but octopus ink spreads out like a cloud of smoke. But squid ink has 30 times the savory flavor, so octopus ink isn't used in pasta all that often.
Laffy told me the same thing. He said that's why octopus ink pasta isn't very good.
Laffy said that?
Yeah, so I ended up not making it for him. But I wonder... I guess it doesn't matter, since I can't taste it now.
I'll taste it for you then. So make me some octopus ink pasta sometime, all right?
All right, and I'll be sure to make some that doesn't come from demons.
Hey, who did Aizen send that letter and cooking pot to, anyway?
I don't want to think about it. That walloping still stings.
You've got to be curious, though, right?
Maybe.
It was serious stuff. Whoever it is must be important to him. A lover, maybe?
Aizen's lover.
A child wouldn't be happy with that cooking pot, and a man wouldn't want it wrapped up so pretty. A young woman with Aizen's tastes, then. He'd be bound to fall for a miraculous match like that, right?
I don't know. I bet she's that girl with the yellow umbrella.
You really have a thing for her, don't you?
I do not. That's not what I mean.
Then pray tell, what do you mean?
Huh?
Eavesdropping, Eleanor? How unseemingly rude of you. Besides, Laphicet is free to like whomever he chooses.
You're one to talk about eavesdropping, Moggy Lou. Anyway, it's just that the sunflower design on the wrapping reminded me of her.
Now that you mention it, but does it really matter? He has someone to write to in any case.
True. I can't help but feel a bit envious.
What a nice way of summing it up, Velvet. So you were eavesdropping too, then?
Say, what do you think about Aizen?
Oh, so that's the kind of guy you're into,
Not what I'd expect, but...
No! I just feel there's something different about him. The way he picks presents, the objects that catch his eye.
Oh, is that all? Boring.
No kidding. All men have some kind of particular interest, big or small.
I suppose that's true, but he seems a bit, shall we say, overly obsessive?
Now that you mention it, he does have a tendency to ramble on about various topics.
And it's not just the items he collects.
There's more to it?
Every weekend, he eats curry for dinner, and every time we go into port, he docks at the 3rd bollard.
Come to think of it, I heard the galley crew complaining that he always needs his pasta cooked exactly the right way.
And when he needs a new outfit, he always goes to the same tailor and returns with identical clothes and boots. It all has to be exactly the same size and in exactly the same color. Turtle says he's very nitpicky.
Sounds like he's not so much picky as he is a pain in the ass.
But I do see a different side of him now. I thought pirates were all rough and filthy, but it seems they can be quite meticulous.
Not much of a reassessment.
This is everyone's first time to Stonebury, right?
Why was it blocked off? Demons?
No, there was a great tornado on the Aldina Plains that swallowed up a whole merchant caravan. Hundreds gone in an instant.
The cooling of the climate is causing bouts of odd weather. Thunderstorms, heavy downpours, and the like.
Correct. The Abbey is keeping a tight guard on traffic through the affected areas.
If it's open now, that must mean the tornado is gone.
I wonder what sort of place it is.
It's quite lovely. In the vast forest to the east, you can find gemstones, and it's teeming with rare plants and insects. The locals trade only as much meat and hides as they need, and they live peaceful, quiet lives.
You sure know a lot about this place.
It's where the Norman he first fell in love with grew up.
Bien! Please don't embarrass me. Though we are apart from each other now, our hearts are still as one.
Immediately after you and I made our pact and set off, she fell in love with some macho Norman and moved away.
What? Why haven't I heard about this? How long have you known?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I found out during my long search for you. Or maybe it was right after we left. I remember leaving something in the village and going back to... Oh well, not like it matters.
It does matter!
There's no sense in crying over a fickle girl. Come, Stonebury awaits.
Hey, Eleanor. Abbey exorcists don't pray to their tethered Malachim, do they?
You mean something besides our oaths?
An oath is a magical formula that grants you power in exchange for binding you to a rule, right?
Yes, though that is simplifying it a bit.
When Malachim receive human prayers, they bestow their blessings upon people and nature. Eisen told me that we Malachim grow stronger when humans pray to us.
Prayers and blessings? I've never heard of that. I used to think the same way as the other exorcists. Malachim are merely tools that allow us the use of arts.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But Inominat is different. The exorcists all worship him. They have faith in his mighty power. And not only that, the people of this nation pray to the Empyrean for salvation, just as Artorias instructs them.
Ah, I get it now.
See the wheels turning, do you, kiddo?
Huh?
Artorias founded the abbey within the existing Church of the Empyreans, so that he could direct the people's thoughts towards Inominat, so that even while they lionize Artorias as their savior, they are made aware of Inominat's presence behind him.
Everyone starts believing in Inominat. The prayers of the entire world go to him, becoming his power.
After the centuries-long decline of Empyrean worship, he becomes stronger than anyone today could imagine.
The pieces do fit. Oaths, prayers, blessings, the demon blight. So much in this world is affected by matters of the heart. They hold magical power, both effective and meddlesome.
We are truly going up against the rest of the entire world, aren't we?
Don't look so troubled, Eleanor. I'm gonna do my best to get stronger, so believe in me. I am a Malak after all.
Oh, Laffy said, you've become so brave so quickly.
Have I?
But you're still cute when you get embarrassed.
Hey, why is your face so red?
Huh? My face isn't red.
Huh?
Are you all right, Madam Eleanor? Don't let those people get you down.
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern. But could you not do that thing where you blow air on me to dry my tears?
All right, I'll just pat your head then.
That won't be necessary either. But really, things are in a terrible state.
The town burned, the guild ruined, the abbey all but gone. It won't be a functioning port for some time.
You can't fault them for being upset. They had it real good here until we came along. Those Hellavesians were like spoiled children.
How so?
Eloise was once a tiny fishing village. The bountiful northern seas provided plenty enough fish to sustain their trade. But Flamestone gave them an easy way to get rich. And once they got a taste, they abandoned their old craft.
And now they're paying the price. But I've heard that the cooling temperature has covered half the northern sea in ice drift, making fishing much more difficult.
But the drifting ice carries tiny organisms, enriching the waters where it melts. The fish should be more plentiful than ever.
I suppose you may have a point.
We're ones to talk after what we did, but taking the easy path, then complaining as soon as it gets hard, that seems...
Spoiled, yes.
You said it, Laphicet.
I think my appetite's getting a little overindulgent, too.
That's not a bad thing. Just means you're healthy.
Giant squid come to these waters in this season. Should I ask Benwick to fish some up?
Yeah, and some normal octopuses, too. This calamity is... us, isn't it?
Well, we've been waging war with the Abbey everywhere we go, and now we're about to take it to a new level.
If we pull the next Therian off of the Earth Pulse point, it'll likely be Kamoana's village all over again.
The same devastation?
Ooh. I wonder if there's something worse than calamity that they can call us.
This is no laughing matter.
People turn into demons in part due to their own malevolence. It's not like they're entirely innocent. But if there's someone out there who's being forced to act as Inominat's mouth, like Kamoana was, isn't saving them the right thing to do?
I cannot argue with that, but...
You don't have to worry. I'm the one who will devour the barrier. And I'm the one who will do what needs to be done.
Hellavese is... different now, isn't it?
Maybe, but you've changed too.
True. When I first met all of you, I never could have imagined I would go on such a journey.
I could barely even think then. But then Velvet let me keep this compass. And Aizen and Rokuro taught me to be myself.
They certainly did.
And look at Dial. He's a regular part of the Von Altia's crew now.
Even Restless Bienfu and Grimoire are now part of our merry band.
Yep.
Hey, aren't you forgetting someone?
Oh, and the prince and his hawk, and Korogane and Kamoana are with us.
Listen, I've got more part in this tale than any of them.
Hush. Whatever I'd say, you'd say it doesn't matter to you.
At last you begin to understand me. Magicazam.
Achoo! Ugh. I didn't think Northgand would be this cold.
But Northgand was Teresa's territory. Wouldn't you have been here with her?
I think having my awareness controlled meant my senses were dulled as well.
I see. But the cold doesn't seem to be bothering Aizen at all. In fact, everyone else seems comfortable here.
If you shiver at these temperatures, you'll never make it on the high seas.
In my youth, I practiced the blade under the blazing sun and through raging blizzards. Besides, when I turned into a demon, extreme temperatures ceased to affect me.
The same thing happened to me. I used to hate winter. So that's some good luck.
But what of yourself? You seem to be handling it just fine.
I'm freezing, actually. I don't know how you stand it.
I loathe the cold more than anything. That's why I've armed myself with a secret weapon. I've stuck thin, yet powerful, Cuckoo brand hand warmers all over myself. I even packed them in my shoes.
Really? That sounds amazing!
I'm willing to share, if you act like a dove.
What?
Go cuckoo, like a dove.
Please share your cuckoo warmers with me. Cuckoo.
You're no velvet, that's for sure.
These ruins. This feels like a sad place.
Sad? In what way?
Sorrow permeates this place. As if left behind by people who suffered torment and death. I guess that's a weird impression to get by just looking at some ruins, huh?
I'd trust my feelings if I were you. They'll often lead you to the truth of things. Besides, what you're feeling would explain a thing or two about these ruins.
It would?
Rather than attempting to impress visitors with beauty and opulence, the building and its passageways were built with strength and stability in mind. And that means...
They were anticipating volcanic earthquakes, and they expected that someone might turn violent in these passageways.
Not a bad observation. And what would bring such savage people to these halls? Surely they weren't just passing through.
Then this passage must have led to somewhere. Some room or structure deeper within. A prison for the worst criminals, or maybe a battle arena.
And that's what gave you a sense of sadness.
If it was an arena, then treasure for the victors might be hidden away somewhere.
Why would it be hidden?
Well, those fighter types might not have been all that nice, and the people who built this place seem to have been the cautious type.
Hidden treasure, huh? Where do you think,
Save your speculation for another day, you two. We have a Therian to find.
Right. Sorry.
So, about that treasure.
Aizen!
Ugh. We'll talk about this later, Laphicet.
All right. Hey, do you all have mothers?
Where'd that question come from?
Well, after hearing that Velvet, Kamawana, and Eleanor all lost their parents, I just got curious.
My mother was a strict, frightening woman, but she died a long time ago.
I see.
I have no parents either. But the wicked witch who took me in said I was born from a peach that floated down the river.
Coming from you, I'd almost believe that.
And you, Aizen?
We Malakim are formed from untainted mana. Sometimes humans are reborn as Malakim, but they retain no memory of their previous lives. In other words, we don't have blood relations like humans do.
I see. By the time I was aware of anything around me, I was already tethered and being called number 2. I suppose having no mother means I don't have any memories before that. I told Medusa that losing a mother is painful, but I can't know how painful it is.
Go easy on him, Aizen. He's just a kid.
I'm just telling it like it is. But listen to me, Laphicet. You can share deep connections with other people, even if you don't have a biological family. Malakim, too, can form precious bonds. True friendships, even family.
That's right. Your words wouldn't have stopped Medusa if they weren't true in your heart.
You really think so?
I'm sure of it.
It's far better than being a witch born from a peach.
Nonsense! There's no nobler way to be born! I have an everlasting friendship with a dog, a monkey, a pheasant, and Bienfu.
I hope he's right. When mankind's despair reaches its pinnacle, Innominat shall reach out and bring an end to all.
So that song bothers you too?
No matter how many times I read it, I don't see any good in it.
Understanding that ancient tongue is difficult, right? Perhaps there's another interpretation? Maybe the end to all actually means an end to all human suffering, for example.
That is a possibility. But we're far too lacking in material to know anything for sure.
We need the other half of that book, or some other text on Innominat.
We don't have the time to search for it. Wouldn't even know where to start looking.
And don't forget that that book is just a copy. Whoever transcribed it might have made an error, too.
That's an unexpectedly sharp insight coming from you.
I'm an expert at errors. When Miss Magilu made me copy magic tomes for her, I did it pretty half-heartedly.
Didn't that cause a lot of problems?
Well, when she tried to cast a spell from one of the tomes, the spell exploded in her face. It's really her own fault, though. She told me to copy 100 books in 3 days! That's impossible!
Oh, how cruel!
Cruel is right! That witch is a real devil, I tell you! A slave driver!
Bienfu, let's go somewhere a little more private, shall we?
Miss Magilu!
Hush now. There's no need to worry. I'll make it a half-hearted punishment.
Velvet said a ball was wiped off the map, but it sounds like someone's been coming from there with things to sell. Do you think a new group of settlers moved in?
Apparently that merchant Nico is someone Velvet knows.
She said something about Artorias having saved the village. Do you think it had something to do with the Earth Pulse point?
I can't say. We've heard too many conflicting things.
This feels wrong to me. Really, really wrong.
We won't find the truth by wandering blindly in the dark. The path forward is our only way.
Right. It's not like we can turn back.
But Miss Mogulu, what if there's darkness ahead too?
Then we'll take a nice nap together. Forever, probably.
Oh.
I wonder what Velvet's hometown is like.
A ball? I've heard about it from other sailors, although that was a long time ago. They said it's a fairly plain place, and it's home to rustic, hospitable folk.
That sounds like any country village to me.
I wonder if Velvet used to be rustic and hospitable.
Oh, you mean to say she's devious and rude now?
Not at all.
It's okay, you can admit it. It's pretty much the truth.
Well, I imagined she was a plain, hardworking girl.
You really believe that?
Call it a guess, really.
I bet she was a cheerful, loving sister.
Maybe so.
And now she's the Lord of Calamity. If she sees her former friends, maybe she'll remember some of what she's lost.
But what has she lost?
Say, do you know why Velvet was sent to that prison island in the first place?
It had to be to funnel the other prisoners' malevolence to Innominat, right?
There's an Earth Pulse point near a ball, right? Wouldn't it have been easier just to leave her there?
Lack of food, probably. I heard she devoured the entire village.
Could that rumor really be true?
Who can say? Let's ask Aizen's coin.
You know it doesn't work like that.
All right, let's think. Why else would Artorias move Velvet to the island? If she was the first Therian he captured...
He needed a guinea pig to test out what was written in the ancient book.
Precisely. He made a special cage for her in the island prison, where Earth Pulse Point and Malevolence met. Then he used Velvet to test how Therians work.
Huh. I could see him doing that.
But turning his own family into an experiment.
I'm just offering a theory. But a man willing to sacrifice his brother's life wouldn't likely show mercy to his sister either.
How could he be capable of such things?
Perhaps that's just how badly he wants to save this world. Or perhaps there's no other way it could be saved.
Huh? Do you think there'll be ruins at this Earth Pulse point, too?
If you're expecting something like the undersea or underground temples we saw before, you might be setting yourself up for a disappointment.
Have you been there before?
No. But if there's any such kind of grand structure here, it wasn't recorded in the Abbey's archives. Eastgand has long been a frontier, and civilization here was never really developed. Plus, the land to the east is said to be unstable, making it hard to build anything too large there.
Even if a temple had been built there, the shifting earth would likely have swallowed it without a trace. The worship of Innominat may be widespread now, but just a few years ago, Empyrean faith was all but dead.
Right.
Still, if you actually searched for the ruins, I bet you could come up with something incredible. We've seen underwater and underground temples, so why not a temple in the sky?
A temple in the sky?
It's a romantic thought, and the ancients were certainly advanced, but...
Flying temples are a bit far-fetched, eh?
Hey, that's the beauty of magic. Anything could happen. A flying temple, a beautiful woman being sawed in half. The border between dream and reality is as fine as a frog's hair.
Maybe you just spend too much time daydreaming.
Maybe.
This can't be. After what I did, when he killed Laffy.
Velvet, are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. I know I'm right. I'm sure of it. This isn't how the village should be.
Well, let's stay calm and investigate.
I am calm. I'm fine. Really.
It didn't seem like that was someone else masquerading as this Nico girl.
But if she's the real thing, then something very unnatural is going on. You get me, Rokuro?
Yeah, We better keep an eye out.
I wonder if they've located the Therian.
Let's just leave that to them.
You're not curious?
Of course I am, but for right now, I want to stay close to Velvet. I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Something more important than finding the Therian?
Yeah. My stomach is twisted, and I've got a chill up my spine. I'm really scared.
Very well. I trust your feelings. We'll leave the Therian to Rokuro and Aizen, and stay with Velvet then.
Thanks, Eleanor.
Magilu, what will you do?
Whatever I feel like.
I shouldn't have asked.
Thanks anyway, Magilu.
Are you sure you're doing the right thing?
In the end, whatever happens, happens. Wiser words never spoken, right?
You don't like spinach, right, Eleanor?
Well, you know, I just... All right, it's true, but keep that between us, okay?
Velvet really seemed to be enjoying herself at the shop.
Quite. And she can really pick out a nice balance of foods while making every gulp count. She seems so cheerful and carefree.
That's the real Velvet. I'm sure of it.
Yes, an ordinary, dutiful, loving sister.
I wish she could have stayed that way. She could have lived a happy life, surrounded by her friends.
Just plain Velvet Crow, sister to Lord Artorias.
And maybe not Lord Artorias, but just plain Arthur.
A happy, ordinary life for an ordinary girl, with a kind family and supportive friends.
Shopping, hunting, laughing with friends. That was how her life used to be, wasn't it?
Yes, it reminds me of my own past.
Huh? But wasn't your village... I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. The happy times I shared with my family, I still treasure those memories. And even after the attack, I've still been able to find happiness. Eating a good meal, making new friends.
And falling in love?
Yes, falling in...
Love?
Look what you made me say, Bienfu!
There's nothing to be ashamed of. Most every girl's happiest memories are of her first love, after all. Don't you think there was someone special out there Velvet had feelings for?
A first love. Do you really think so?
That's enough of that talk, Bienfu. You sound like an old man.
No! I'm only 150 years old and already being treated like an old man!
But still, I would like to meet the guy Velvet first fell for.
I wouldn't.
I see. You're a guy.
That was one hell of an illusion. I have to admire the skill that went into its construction.
The caster probably has a tethered Moloch with a unique power on the same level as my Reaper's curse. I can think of one person who would lay such a wicked trap.
Still, we may have a new clue to the nature of Innominat. You found Innominat's book, right, Laphicet?
Yeah, in Velvet's house.
Then let's hurry to Velvet's house. That horned monster.
He was with Melchior. There was something different about him. He wasn't a Moloch, though, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a demon. But why would the Abbey be working with a demon?
He could be a Therian, maybe. I mean, there was Medissa and Kamoana.
No, I don't think so. The Abbey keeps their Therians behind barriers and bound to Earth Pulse points. A Therian can't send malevolence to Innominat while walking freely.
That's correct. And besides, Orthrus was already here.
In any case, now we know Melchior has a mean-looking bodyguard in addition to his illusions. It'll take quite a lot to stop him.
Aye. That's a fact.
Listen, Eleanor really isn't spying on us. I was with her almost every minute, and when I wasn't, Velvet was watching her. And she's a woman who keeps her promises. She wouldn't lie to...
Laphicet.
We understand, Laphicet. It's Eleanor. If she were lying to herself to somehow keep spying on us, the guilt would fill her with malevolence.
I see. You're right. The fact that I haven't turned into a dragon proves that.
Thank you. Both of you.
I didn't think you were giving them information intentionally.
But there are illusionists like Melchior out there. That means we can't rule out someone recording your thoughts in secret.
I don't think we need to worry about that either. Not with you and Laphicet always near.
Now that that's settled, it's time for you all to testify to my innocence.
That could be difficult.
What?
Well, okay. Why don't you start off by telling us all about the time you sold us out to Teresa back in Helives?
Oh, why bring up that old yam? You're a very vindictive man, do you know that?
You're just figuring that out? Well, there's your proof at least. You wouldn't make much of a spy.
She really wouldn't.
Hey, that's not what I meant. You were mean.
Eleanor, does the Abbey possess an art that can control demons?
Not that I've ever heard of. Besides, if they could control demons, there'd be no need to resurrect Inominat, would there?
Can't argue with that.
But Melchior was obviously in control of that demon. How did he manage that?
You can't tether them like a Moloch, and Melchior wasn't using oaths or mana to compel him. No, this was something more like mind control.
Mind control?
Let's say you know your target's innermost desires. You simply conjure the right illusion. Show them what would push their buttons in just the right way.
Ah, if you can create an illusion of something someone really wants, you can control them.
Exactly. You can force a powerful burden upon your target's psyche. Until their spirit breaks, that is.
What happens when they break?
Depends on the target. They might become an empty shell, they might go wild with desire. Eeny teeny spiny crow.
You sure know a lot about this.
Now that you put it that way, why would I know so much about it? What if someone is controlling me, making me say these very words? How horrifying!
I believe I'll take your words with a grain of salt.
We have to take good care of Orthy and Russ.
That's on you. They won't let me near.
Yeah, well, what do you expect? You only killed their master.
Don't worry. I'll take responsibility.
You mustn't. They're quite vicious, you know. I just asked them if they wanted to be friends, and they suddenly bit me.
I'm sure you said something to irritate them, like, I'll make you my minions. You had it coming.
She knows.
But you have Therians to find, Laphicet. You won't be able to look after them all the time.
I suppose. What should I do?
You could ask Kamoana and Medissa. Kamoana said she once had a dog. Even if they get a little rowdy, Medissa will be around to keep them safe.
That's a good idea. I'll go ask them.
Thanks. We can't be killing off Therians. Besides, they remind me of Nico.
Velvet.
You want a pet dog, Laphicet? You should go to the Abbey then.
Why the Abbey?
Because the place is full of the shepherd's lapdogs. Get it? Lapdogs!
Yeah, I get it.
Time for some grub, Laphicet. What are you hungry for?
I'll have some stuffed giant squid, or prison crab dumplings, or sea snake bowl.
It's your first meal in 3 days, right? Better stick with something mild or you'll be sorry. How about a risotto or vegetable rice soup?
That could be nice.
I could go for some borscht or shark fin and egg soup. For dessert, I'll have a sweet bean and jelly fruit cup, a giant parfait, and a triple berry cake.
Zip it, Magilou.
Oh well, I'm getting full just thinking about it.
I think I'd like some rice porridge with a pickled plum and baby sardines on top.
Ooh, an austere choice.
And an apple.
In that case, you should have some apple boo.
Apple boo?
What on earth is that?
It's just grated apples. But when my brother wasn't feeling well, I often fed it to him.
I think I'd like to try some.
If you insist, I'll make some for you. At least it's something I can make without needing to taste it.
Okay, I insist.
Okay.
If you're already making some, I'd like...
Zip it, Magilou.
Just one Therian to go. When I escaped, Ceres told me that Artorias could still be killed. That means she must have known everything. That Innominat is incomplete. How Therians work. But why did she betray Artorias? Why did she give me her strength? I know that try as you might, some fires can never fully be extinguished. But what made you go so far as to feed yourself to me? Tell me, why did you do it, sis? Ugh, what am I saying? Ceres was a Moloch. Just a Moloch. Just focus on what has to be done. Once the Therians are all together, I can end this. That's all that matters. That's all I need to think about.
Teresa, it's been a while.
We haven't seen each other since the throne. But that doesn't seem like so long ago to me. Not when I keep hearing so much about you. Eleanor Hume, the traitor.
What of the Corsair Scourge?
Nothing to worry about. I've had my dose of Salatoma.
Was it as bad as you remembered it? Brings you back to when you were an initiate, doesn't it?
Why did you betray us, Eleanor? When the Abbey made you a patrolling inspector, they placed great responsibility upon you. Oscar should have been the one to take on that role. He had already been selected for it. But you wanted it so very badly, and that sweet, naive man that he is, he let you take it.
I had no idea. Oscar had already been chosen?
Yes, and after he passed on it, he was stationed on that dangerous island where he sustained that awful wound. And now, you accompany the monster that nearly killed him. I feel I have a right to some answers.
My desire to save humanity has not changed. I have simply found a path different from the Abbey's.
I don't find that answer acceptable.
I didn't think that you would. I know very well that you offer no compromises when it comes to Oscar.
You're right. I don't. Be sure to inform your new friends of that fact. In order for me to protect Oscar, I'm going to need you all to trust me. That's all I have to say to you.
I understand.
That power number 2 displayed at the throne. Hard to believe he had that hidden in him. Lord Melchior said that number 1 was full of untapped potential as well. If I have the talent to use it.
Teresa, my lady, you seem angry.
Me? At what?
At me, for running away and joining Velvet.
Oh, that? I was careless. An enemy stole a tool of mine. I'm merely frustrated at my own incompetence.
A tool.
I don't care what happens to me now. Not as long as I can save Oscar.
I'm the one who hurt your precious brother. And you're asking for my help now?
Yes, you hurt him. You scarred his face, and his honor, and his heart.
Still holding a grudge then? Well, at least you won't be able to kill me in my sleep.
With no Malachim, I'm an ordinary woman. How could I threaten the Lord of Calamity? I'm painfully aware of my own weakness.
Good. Try to keep out of the way then.
Lady Teresa, Velvet isn't so different from you. She had a little brother,
I know all about the Lord of Calamity, but none of that matters to me. As powerless as I am now, this is the only path for me. It's the only way I can save Oscar.
Lady Teresa. Malachim are just tools.
What are you brooding over?
I know. Velvet, Eleanor, or Teresa. You're not sure whose little brother you want to be, eh? In that case, I assure you I'm the kindest of the lot.
The cruelest, most devious.
That's not what's on my mind. There's something I need to say to Lady Teresa.
Something you wish to say? Then speak, number 2.
That's just it. I'm not number 2. I'm Laphicet.
Laphicet?
It's the name Velvet gave me. It's very important to me.
Something can be important to you?
Yes, I have feelings. You see, Malachim are not tools.
Very well. I shall call you Laphicet from now on.
Thank you, Lady Teresa.
You're kinder than you look, my dear Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
You misunderstand. With so much at stake, I don't want to rock the boat.
Velvet, tell me what you know about Teresa and Oscar. I want a clearer picture of what they can do.
All right. Teresa and Oscar are...
I can give you the lowdown on everything Abby. Lady Teresa and Oscar are the best of the best, even among the praetors. Some call them the consuls. There are only around 100 praetors in the world, so we're talking very elite.
Anyone called a consul is going to be adept at both fighting and leadership. They are key figures entrusted with responsibility for major cities and institutions.
The fighting part is all we have to worry about. Are they better than you, Eleanor?
Yes, I was a primus, which is a full rank below them. I could never overcome Teresa's arts or Oscar's swordsmanship in our practice battles.
When they were still trainees, they worked together to wipe out dozens of demons in a single night. After that, Lord Melchior kept a close eye on them.
Appreciated. I'll be on my guard.
Together they sound like a real threat. Thankfully, we're only after Oscar alone.
But Oscar has mastered a new art developed by Lord Melchior. You can count on it being a nasty one.
You really do know a lot about this stuff.
It's a little suspicious.
You think so? Well, I was at the Abbey, so...
Why don't you call him Lord Oscar?
That's what's bothering you? It's because we're both so popular with the ladies. I consider him a rival.
Hey, Laphicet. Found a new stag beetle, did you?
Yeah, Lady Teresa caught it for me.
Ooh, those pincers are sharp. Eisen, take a look at this fine specimen of a stag.
Wait, I believe that might be a two-horned rhinoceros beetle.
Listen, you two. If you're gonna get in another fight over this, I'll just say it's a new type of drone beetle.
You wouldn't.
You've really figured us out, huh?
Eleanor, you didn't make him say that just now, did you?
I did not. I've made a pact with him as a vessel, but he isn't tethered to me.
A Moloch. Acting so human.
I used to think that way. Malachim possessing free will just like humans? It was inconceivable. But meeting Laphicet and Eisen taught me the truth. They laugh in joyful times and cry in sad times. Their stomachs even growl too.
Their stomachs growl?
Now I take it as a matter of course that not only Malachim, but demons and Therians too, have their own thoughts and feelings.
I thought you hated demons.
I certainly still do, but now I feel something besides just hate.
Malachim with free will? Demons and Therians as well?
You must have sensed that in Laphicet, or you wouldn't have caught that beetle for him. When you saw his beaming face, it must have reminded you of when Oscar was a young boy. Am I correct?
This conversation's over. Using that art could be fatal. I can't allow Oscar to try it.
Lady Teresa, is something the matter?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But you looked like you were in pain.
Oh. I was just thinking a bit.
You didn't have time to rest after recovering from the Corsair's scourge. You're awfully hard on yourself, you know.
And even harder on others, am I?
That's not what I meant.
It doesn't matter. I'm well aware that I'm stone cold. But they say a Moloch never knows his vessel's heart. I said nothing all those times you snuck off to the library, did I?
You knew about that?
Of course I knew. But I was just letting you roam free like a master might let her little pup. Number one didn't wander about like you did. What makes you different?
I'm sorry.
Well, boys will be boys, I guess. But I was planning on punishing you if that behavior continued.
Punish me how?
You don't want to know. It might wreck your good cheer.
Lady Teresa!
Look at how open she's being. Do you really think she'll work with us?
I don't think she's lying to us. But I don't think she's being entirely truthful either. Look, I know I probably don't have to say this, but...
You don't. I won't let my guard down. If I see anything funny, she's dead. And since she has no Moloch, it'll be quick. Teresa, let's review our plan before we go in.
All right.
We'll tell Oscar that we'll release you if he gives up his weapons and Malachim. We'll tie him up, collect the Therian, and then head for the docks. Once we're aboard our ship and ready to sail, we'll release you. You'll be free to do whatever you want.
Very well. But I want you to promise me one thing. Promise me you won't hurt Oscar.
That depends on him. I'll defend myself if I have to.
Velvet.
Please, do it for me, too.
If you want to save Oscar, you need to make him listen. Put your own life on the line. You're his sister. Do whatever you have to protect him.
I will. Even if it means my death.
I never expected that Velvet would actually eat Teresa.
What else could she do? We never expected that Teresa would be a Therian either.
Velvet and Lady Teresa weren't so different. They both loved their brothers.
Not everyone loves their brothers. Some just want them dead.
So where does this leave us?
It seems we must search for the new Therian that will fill the void left by Teresa.
It won't be easy to find another who could become a Therian.
Then it won't be easy for the Abbey either. And they still may not be able to awaken Innominat. We still can't assume that we're in the clear, though.
No, we can't.
If it takes time for the Therian to be reborn, this could be our chance to strike.
Whatever happened, the 7 Therian's ties have been severed from Innominat. But we won't know if the Empyrean has been weakened until we find out for ourselves.
I can try and see if I can sense the new Therian. So let's go back to the prison island first. But I think Velvet needs time to rest.
Right. If we're gonna take down Artorias, she has to be there with us.
Yeah.
I really can't fathom what the Abbey is doing.
Even if they did let us know on purpose, why would they leave us be? I would have expected them to press the attack against us.
Even if their aim is to capture our allies as some kind of leverage against us, their plan is too many holes.
What if we decided to abandon Kamoana and the others? They'd be no closer to capturing Velvet.
Do they actually want the Therians back?
What are you saying?
Why did Melchior place that illusion on a ball to lure Velvet in?
That was so he could capture her, right?
And in case he couldn't capture her, he could kill her and create another Therian.
Okay, so if securing the Therians is so important to them, why would they throw Orthrus to the winds?
That's a puzzler. Melchior was right there, and he didn't try to protect Orthrus at all.
I don't understand it. It's like they're toying with us.
I don't see any point in that either. They must know we won't give up.
Actually, that could be close to the mark. What if they're just trying to rattle us? Everything would fit, including the assault on Titania.
Whatever's going on, I don't think we're going to like it.
So, Eleanor, about that Armatus Oscar used, was that something the Abbey has been working on for a while?
I was never involved in weapons development or anything like that, but I did hear of a secret research division. Word was that they were deciphering ancient scrolls and books coming from every corner of the Empire. Apparently, Teresa knew something of the ancient tongue, and they called her in to help from time to time.
Did she work on Innominat's book?
I was never privy to any of the details, but I think the books were mostly about controlling Malachim.
Well, that Siegfried thing of Zavid's is some kind of power control device, right?
The Abbey probably learned about Siegfried in one of those books, and realized they could use it to armatize.
So Melchior tracked Zavid down and stole the formula. Makes sense.
It was all so they could create the Armatus.
Will Ifrid be alright?
Complete or not, they've seen that they can use the Armatus in battle. They have no use for him anymore.
Let's get back to Titania, Eisen. I'll help out with the ship.
Right. Let's set sail.
I know this isn't the best time, but I have something to say. Please forgive me. I've been a spy for Lord Melchior.
You were the one telling the Abbey about us?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Melchior is a clever one, isn't he? Planting his spy right next to Magilu. After all, a forest is the best place to hide a tree.
Melchior used his arts to place orders on Bienfu that overrode Magilu's pact.
That son of a dog.
Please don't hate me!
I meant Melchior, not you.
Really?
Exerting control over someone else's life goes against everything Aizen stands for. We know you were forced to do it against your will.
But my spying put everyone in serious danger. That's still a fact.
The Bloodwings also knew what we were up to. The Abbey would have figured it out with or without you. What'd you tell them anyway?
That Velvet is actually pretty good wife material. And what fishing rods Aizen prefers. And what Miss Magulu says in her sleep. And how fast Dial's tail regrows.
What? That's what you told them?
It's done. Pay it no more heed. But things must be set aright.
All right. How?
Eleanor, I apologize for suspecting you. I'm sorry.
Aizen!
That's right. I must apologize as well. I'm deeply sorry, Lady Eleanor.
Very well. Apologies accepted all around.
Are exorcists using armatization aware that it could cost them their lives?
I'm sure they are. If I were still with the Abbey, I would likely be using an armatus too. Endangering one's own life in order to save the many? It's the logical choice. But using something that dangerous so frequently in battle is absolutely wrong.
The Abbey must be starting to feel the pressure, too.
Even so, the losses are unacceptably high.
That's how badly they want the Therians, and how big a threat we represent. Or it could be that it has nothing to do with us, and the real point is to test their new weapon.
That can't be. It's all an experiment?
A blade proves its true worth by making it through battle unbroken. Are exorcists all that different?
Your logic is sound, but it's still awful.
We were able to survive this time, but it won't be much longer until they've perfected the armatization.
That's not the only thing we need to worry about where ticking clocks are concerned. Am I wrong?
Velvet.
It doesn't matter. We kill whoever gets in our way.
It's complete! The Orichalcum blade, Stormquell!
It's the hardest blade the world has ever known.
Even to an untrained eye, that sword is obviously something special.
Kurogane is a real master. Color me amazed.
The Godblade Stormhowl versus the Orichalcum Stormquell. This will be something to see.
Will it end in triumph, or will you need to try more oomph? The gods alone know.
The gods have nothing to do with it. Skill alone will determine who lives and who dies.
Will Artorias use an armatus as well?
I don't know. It's hard to believe that the Abbey's leader would risk using an art that could end his own life, but...
The shepherd's reputation would be ruined if he self-destructed over some botched formula. On the other hand, if the risk is based on the user's ability, then the legates might not have any trouble.
So if Artorias were to try, he'd armatize with Innominat.
Can an Empyrean be used as an armatus? I'm not even sure Artorias can handle that.
He'll do it. Why else would he try to revive Innominat?
But we're talking about an Empyrean.
He'll succeed. I'm certain of it. This is the Shepherd Artorias we're talking about here. Whether god or devil stands in his way, he won't be swayed. That's who he is.
Velvet.
But it won't save him. He'll die by my hand. Empyrean or no Empyrean.